Welcome to the Geotalk for today, and I am happy that I can introduce Bavisha. She's a Witsie. She did the undergraduate and honors and PhD here at Wits University, and now she's working as a postdoc at the University of UCT in the initiative of minerals to metals in the Department of Chemical Engineering. Bavisha is one of the co-founder of the Bridge the Gaps initiative here at Wits. So she played an important role during their studies here. And Bavisha, are you there?
Yes,
can you hear us? Please, this is for you now.
Okay, thank you so much, Linda. So good afternoon, one and all. I hope that you can all hear me, both in-person audience and online audience. As Linda has mentioned, my name is Bavisha Koovarjee, and I am a proud Wits graduate. In celebration of the Wits centenary, I would like to share my story with you, and this is the journey as an undergraduate and postgraduate student that led to me becoming a PhD graduate. I will also cover some of my achievements, setbacks, and the highlights of my experience, as well as some advice. It is a privilege to be here today to share my story with you. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the organizers for giving me this chance. Okay, so let's move on. My slides are not, okay, there we go. I first learned about Wits University as a high school student when I visited during an open day. I browsed the vast and beautiful campus and consulted with various different schools about my prospects. All the staff and students were so friendly and encouraging. I learned on that day that Wits is one of the top universities in Africa, offering globally competitive and locally relevant degrees. Wits is internationally renowned for world-class research and academic excellence. After that day, I knew I wanted to be a Witsie. And I was so determined to become one that I didn't even bother applying to any other university. This visit made me feel like the possibilities were endless, and this was the place that was going to give me a head start in life. Since that day, during high school, I worked extremely hard to make sure I got the APS points to get into the university of my dreams. And I knew that when I got in, this would be the beginning of a great new chapter. But little did I know that it was not going to be easy. When I just started, I had no friends, and I traveled 1.5 hours every day, twice a day, to get to and from university. I left home at 6 a.m. and returned at 7 p.m. daily for 4 years. Truth be told, the transition from high school to this new university life was not easy. But it was not long before I began to love every minute of it. I met so many new people from all over the country and developed meaningful friendships. I joined various clubs and societies, and most importantly, I was learning about subjects that I was truly passionate about. Wits gave me the opportunity to be exposed to so much more than I could have imagined. In my first year, I enrolled for maths, chemistry, geography, and geology. And in my second year and third, I decided to major in geography and geology. I was fascinated by the earth sciences and the processes that created the world that we live in today. And for the first time in my life, I was able to explore this interest of mine in a way that I knew would enhance my capabilities and my career prospects. Geology is such a diverse subject. It's more than just attending lectures or completing assignments. It also includes practical lab work and field work, which really makes a difference in learning how to apply the knowledge we acquire to real life scenarios and problems. I first realized the value of the way the curriculum was designed and the teaching methods in my second year on a field trip to the Fort Dome, where we were given just a contour map and a GPS and asked to map the geology of this area. Of course, when we were first given this task, I had absolutely no idea how I was going to do it. But after being in the field, identifying the various rock types, geological contexts, measuring strike and dip, As well as discussion with classmates and demonstrators, the map came together, and we were able to use our knowledge that we acquired in lectures and practicals to put together a geological map and determine the geological history of an area. This was a huge accomplishment for me because I was able to see my knowledge being transformed into real world applications. I attained a real appreciation for the teaching methods, but also I developed a confidence in my capabilities as a young aspiring geologist. So field trips were always the most memorable experience of every year, and that's because they had good and bad aspects. But during my undergrad and honors years, we had the opportunity to visit many regions in South Africa, which otherwise we would have not encountered. There is no other course that enables you to climb to the top of mountains, the bottom of mine pits, explore meteorite impact structures, ancient beach formations, calcified waterfalls, heritage sites, and so much more. In my third year of undergraduate studies, I was faced with what I think was my greatest challenge at the time, and that was structural geology. This had to be the most difficult course that I undertook. With the honors year not too far away, I was determined to achieve the best mark possible for myself. And so I studied really hard to understand the subject, and I consulted with lecturers, and I think this made a real difference, which resulted in me then achieving a distinction for that subject. That same year, I encountered my favorite subject, economic geology, which was then taught by Professor Paul Nex. Man, I loved identifying ore minerals and petrogenetic sequences using a petrographic microscope. And Professor Paul Nex's passion for the subject inspired me even more to achieve my goal of getting into honors. The honors experience was also a tough one. We had multiple courses that were covered in a short period of time, and we also had to navigate a research component for the first time. During this year, we learned the importance of time management, working under pressure, working in teams, but also working independently. We developed critical thinking and communication abilities. We reinforced some of our fieldwork skills, and also very importantly, we built lifelong friendships. After successfully completing my fourth year, I had now graduated twice, with a Bachelor of Science in 2015 and a Bachelor of Science with Honors in 2016. At this point, I still wanted to learn more about geosciences, and I had developed an interest in research. So I decided to continue my studies in the form of a master's, which was later upgraded to a PhD. Some of the reasons why one would continue with postgraduate studies includes perhaps you love what you study. So a master's or a PhD is the perfect opportunity to learn more about the subject that fascinates you the most. If you want to take your knowledge to the next level and gain a deeper understanding of the field, then a postgraduate program could be for you. Perhaps you enjoy university life. Going to university is a life-changing experience with so many benefits. So if you're not ready to leave your independence and busy social life, and of course your interesting studies behind, then a postgraduate program could be an ideal option for you. Maybe you want to improve your job prospects. A postgraduate degree will open up an array of lucrative job opportunities and can also increase your earning potential. And lastly, maybe you set your sights on a career in academia. A postgraduate qualification is obviously the best introduction to a career in academia. You will get all the resources available at the university and the chance to work alongside leading lecturers and researchers in your field, and you will also get the chance to contribute to pioneering research in your field. My PhD experience was quite eventful. It was filled with many ups and downs, challenges and achievements. One of the most exciting things I did was visit my study site, which was located 1,200 meters underground at Lonmin Platinum in Marikana. I had done borehole core logging in Mokopane. I conducted electron microprobe analysis at Rhodes University and stable isotope analysis at the University of Cape Town, along with the use of many other state-of-the-art analytical laboratories here at Wits University. I walked this journey with two amazing supervisors. That's Professor Roger Gibson and Professor Paul Nex, who provided me with much needed guidance and support throughout my studies. I presented my research outcomes at local and international conferences. And pursuing a PhD has helped me develop numerous important skills. Apart from having a geological knowledge and research capabilities, I have worked in many different environments and conditions, which include fields and labs across the country at different universities. I was constantly thrown into the deep end, and this taught me the importance of adaptability, multitasking, and working under pressure. As a PhD candidate, I was responsible for the research that I conducted, and it enhanced my work ethic, taught me to work confidently as an individual, and gave me the courage to seek assistance when I needed. I have learned the importance of taking initiative, time management, and networking with relevant partners or potential sponsors or institutes to achieve my goals. I would like to share with you some of the lessons that I learned from doing a PhD. Number one is that you need to learn how to manage your time well. This is fairly obvious, but it's something that I really struggled with. During undergrad, our timetables are dictated by the university, and this gave me a good structure of how to plan my time ahead and manage my workload. But my time as a PhD student was completely dictated by me. I was in charge of booking meetings with my supervisor, booking lab equipment, arranging trips, making time to read, write, or analyze data. So learning time management is key. And number two, all supervisor and student relationships are different. Supervisors are incredibly personal, and it truly depends on the unique mix of personalities of the supervisor and the student. They're not something that you can necessarily get working perfectly immediately, and can take time to develop into something beneficial for both parties. Some supervisors can be quite hands-on, like to have contact with you very regularly. But some supervisors can be hands-off and only want to meet maybe once a month or even less than that. And also the style of supervision will change as you progress from your first year of PhD or second, third, fourth. So my advice would be, is when applying for PhDs, it can be useful to ask current students who are working with a prospective supervisor what their supervision style is like, so that you can assess whether or not you will be a good fit. I think that this and making sure that you're passionate about their research area is some of the most important things to consider. Number three, sometimes experiments don't work, and sometimes you don't get the results that you were expecting. That's just the nature of research. So if you can, try to isolate your self-worth from whether your experiments work out or not. As scientists, we are studying nature and finding ways to innovate with what we learn. So of course, we will encounter things that we don't yet understand. If things were not failing, we would never make progress and learn about new exciting things in our field. Number four, it goes without saying that your mental health should always be at the top of your priority list. But that doesn't often seem to be the case in academia. But you shouldn't be working so much overtime that you cause yourself to develop a mental illness. If you are struggling, seek help as early as possible. Wits offers an array of counseling services that can be helpful. Number five, don't compare yourself to other PhD students. I was told this so many times at the beginning of my PhD, but I couldn't help myself constantly comparing, and I was constantly comparing myself with others. I worked in a vibrant research group with fellow PhD candidates who were brilliant and who I perceived as much more intelligent and a better PhD student than me. And I think this is something that many PhD students struggle with, and it links to imposter syndrome. The main thing that I've learned is that everybody's project is different, so you cannot possibly compare them. Lastly, doing a PhD is a roller coaster ride. This is another thing that I was warned about and I didn't really believe at the time, but it's very true. There's no escaping the fact that research has ebbs and flows. There were weeks where I felt like I had made no progress at all, and there were times where I felt like I accomplished more than I could possibly do. Of course, there's going to be emotional ups and downs. You're dedicating 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 years of your life to a single project, and it can feel like you almost embody your project. I don't think I've heard of anyone who said that their PhD was straightforward and easy to manage. From equipment breakdown, unexpected results, emotional breakdowns, that's just research for you. I have been trying to learn to embrace the uncertainty and love the challenge that it presents. So in addition to working on my PhD at my time at Wits, I was also involved in many extracurricular activities within the School of Geosciences. This included tutoring and demonstrating undergraduate courses, which I found extremely rewarding because I was able to share my passion with others in a manner that was beneficial to them as well. I was a member of ROCSOC, the South African student chapter of the Society of Economic Geologists, which is SASEC, and I got involved in activities hosted by professional bodies like the Geological Society of South Africa, Mineralogical Association of South Africa, and Women in Mining in South Africa. As you become more experienced in your field of study, you will be exposed to these professional bodies and get more involved than you were in undergrad. In 2017, I was the postgraduate student representative and a member of the School of Geosciences Transformation Forum, which had the purpose of supporting the university's transformation agenda. In 2017, along with a colleague of mine, I co-founded a mentorship organization in the School of Geosciences called Bridge the Gap. And Bridge the Gap is a student-led initiative designed to assist undergraduate students to transition better into university and to help them ignite their passion for geosciences. Bridge the Gap ultimately aimed to create positive role models for undergraduates in the form of postgraduate students and industry professionals. I am proud to say that the organization is still in operation today and has been expanded in other universities in the country. After spending many years at Wits, I have finally moved on to undertake a postdoctoral research fellowship at the University of Cape Town in the Minerals to Metals Initiative, which is in the Department of Chemical Engineering. The Minerals to Metals Initiative is an interdisciplinary research, education, and engagement platform, which aims to play a leading role in global minerals industry and also aims to contribute to Africa's sustainable development through minerals beneficiation research, and of course, nurturing future leaders of the minerals industry. And lastly, Minerals to Metals also is attempting to bridge the gap between academia and industry via partnerships and collaboration. In addition to being having my own research project as a postdoctoral fellow, I also am supervising honors students and a PhD student. The PhD student is working in rare earth elements, but I cannot disclose any more about the project because it's confidential, and honors students that are working in artisanal and small-scale gold mining. I am extremely grateful for the strong foundation that I received at Wits University, which allowed me to pursue my dream of becoming knowledgeable in the world of geosciences, as well as given me so many experiences that I would have not had if I was not a geology graduate. Again, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Bavisha.
Thanks, Linda.
Well, this was an eye-opener and very comprehensive. Thank you very much for reflecting back on your time. Sometimes when you are in the middle of the PhD, you are so focused on your problem and you don't kind of see the bigger picture. And you can just see bigger picture when you are stepping out of it. Is any of you having any question? No, I think we don't have any question here. I think that Liu has raised his hand. Please, Liu, you can unmute yourself.
All I can say is I'm so proud of you. And I would like to know what you plan to do after your postdoc.
Okay, thank you, Lou. I'm not sure, but I think that I would like to go into academia. I think that's the path that I've set out for myself. After my postdoc, I am looking into getting into academia. I do not know in which department or which school that is, but since I've now been able to work in an interdisciplinary department, I have opened up a lot more doors for myself. So that's what I will be doing in the future.
Thank you, Bavisha. We are all proud of you. There is a question here. Please, you have to be loud, or if you want to come here. She's a student coming to you.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
So I want to know what kept you moving. What was the drive behind you going on the undergraduate, honors, master's, proceeding into PhD, and now you're doing a post-document? Why? What's keeping you moving?
That's a good question.
So to be honest, I was always very fascinated by earth sciences, and I just wanted to know why the world is the way it is in terms of what created the world that we live in today. And I never felt like I knew enough. There was always more to learn about the earth and the way it works. And that's what kept me going. Also, along your journey, you will meet people that are very inspiring and they will motivate you to do so. So for me, those would have been a lot of the staff members within the geosciences department, including my supervisors, but so many other people who share the same passion as you do. And that keeps you going as well.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Bye, Bavisha. And take care and good luck with your research.
Thank you so much, Linda.
Bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.